I used to be married and have a 12-year-old daughter. My current husband, who was previously married as well, has a 22-year-old daughter from his past marriage. We live in a cozy 2-bedroom house. One bedroom for me and my husband, and the other for my daughter. My stepdaughter, who we'll call Zoe, moved out before I even married her dad. Now, Zoe recently lost her job and can't afford her rent, so she asked if she could move back in with us. We agreed, but things took a turn when she realized she'd have to share a room with her younger sister. Zoe insisted on her own private space, which we couldn't offer. I suggested we could get her a second wardrobe, but Zoe wasn't satisfied with that. She wanted to switch rooms and insisted that my daughter move her belongings to the new wardrobe. I told Zoe that wasn't feasible because my daughter already has her stuff organized in the existing wardrobe. Zoe refused to compromise and made several unreasonable demands. My husband suggested we move the fold-out bed into our room, but I felt it wasn't practical due to space constraints. Eventually, he proposed Zoe sleep in the living room, which I rejected, as it wouldn't be fair to my daughter. I've told my husband that we all need to find a middle ground, or Zoe needs to find another solution. It feels selfish for Zoe to demand my daughter's room just for privacy. So, am I wrong for not letting Zoe have a room to herself? From where I stand, Zoe should be grateful for any accommodation rather than demanding changes. It's clear she's not willing to make any concessions, and I feel like my daughter is being unfairly asked to give up her space. If Zoe's situation is that dire, she should either accept the current arrangement or make alternative plans. Zoe's demands began to strain the atmosphere at home. I tried to keep communication open, hoping she would understand our constraints, but her frustration grew with each passing day. My daughter, Anna, felt increasingly unsettled by the tension and the prospect of losing her room. I tried to be fair and balanced, but Zoe's insistence on her own space without any compromise was creating a rift. One evening, I decided to sit down with Zoe and have a candid conversation. I explained that while we understood her need for privacy, our current living situation simply couldn't accommodate her requests without significant disruption to Anna's life. I offered once again to get Zoe a new wardrobe, and even suggested she might consider looking for temporary rental solutions until we could move to a bigger house. Zoe seemed to soften slightly, but she still wasn't entirely satisfied. She mentioned a few potential roommates and places she could check out, but nothing seemed to materialize. I could see she was stressed, and part of me felt sympathy for her situation. My husband and I decided to start actively searching for a larger home, hoping this would alleviate the tension. We found a few potential places that could work, but nothing was finalized yet. In the meantime, Zoe reluctantly agreed to stay in the living room for a few weeks, using the fold-out bed. It wasn't ideal, but at least it was a temporary solution that allowed Anna to keep her room. Despite the temporary resolution, the situation continued to weigh on me. I felt caught between supporting my stepdaughter and protecting my daughter's well-being. I decided to have one more heartfelt conversation with Zoe. I told her how much this had impacted Anna and the family dynamic. I hoped Zoe would understand the emotional toll her demands had taken. To my relief, Zoe showed a new level of understanding and agreed to try to make the best of the situation until we could find a new home. She even helped with some house hunting, which helped mend the relationship a bit. As we continued our search for a larger home, we hoped that moving to a new place would resolve the issues and bring everyone a fresh start. The experience made me realize the importance of clear communication and compromise in blended families. Despite the challenges, I was determined to create a harmonious environment for both my daughters and build a stronger family bond. With Zoe's temporary arrangement in the living room, the immediate tension subsided, but the discomfort lingered. Anna, my 12-year-old, still felt displaced, and Zoe's temporary solution didn't quite mitigate the strain on the family dynamics. It became clear that finding a larger house wasn't just a matter of convenience. It was becoming essential for maintaining harmony in our home. We began intensifying our house hunting efforts. My husband, Mark, and I spent weekends visiting potential homes. Each visit, We weighed the pros and cons, trying to balance our needs and budget. I could tell Mark was growing increasingly frustrated, feeling the weight of the situation on his shoulders. He wanted to ensure Zoe felt comfortable, but he also didn't want to neglect Anna's needs. The pressure was palpable, and it was clear we needed to expedite our search. In the meantime, Zoe adjusted to her new temporary living arrangement with mixed feelings. While she appreciated the gesture, she continued to express frustration about the lack of privacy. She started to make more frequent visits to see apartments and explore other rental options. Despite her best efforts, she struggled to find something that fit both her budget and her standards. One evening, while Mark and I were discussing our latest house hunting trip, Zoe approached us with a more conciliatory attitude. She admitted that the situation was tough for everyone and expressed gratitude for the support we'd extended. She also shared her struggle to find a suitable place and asked for advice on how to handle her finances during this transitional period. It was a turning point. Zoe's willingness to discuss her challenges openly helped ease some of the tension. With our new understanding, we started to focus on practical solutions. Mark and I decided to prioritize finding a home that would comfortably accommodate both Zoe and Anna, along with providing us with the space we needed. We also agreed to involve Zoe more in the decision-making process to ensure her needs were considered in the new arrangement. A few weeks later, we found a spacious 4-bedroom house that seemed like a perfect fit. It was within our budget, and it had a separate bedroom for Zoe, as well as a playroom for Anna. The excitement of finding a potential new home brought a sense of relief and optimism to our family. We signed the lease and began preparations for the move. Zoe was visibly relieved and started to plan her transition out of the living room and into her new space. Anna, too, was excited about having her own room back and was eager to make it feel like her own. The moving process was hectic but filled with hope. On moving day, the atmosphere was lightened by the promise of a fresh start. Zoe and Anna worked together to set up their rooms, and Mark and I made sure to create a supportive environment for both of them. As we settled into the new house, things began to improve. Zoe was more at ease in her new space, and Anna enjoyed the privacy and comfort of her room. The new arrangement allowed us to rebuild our family dynamics with a renewed focus on mutual respect and understanding. The experience had taught us valuable lessons about communication and compromise. Mark and I knew that navigating a blended family was complex, but we were committed to working through the challenges together. With time, patience, and open dialogue, we hope to continue growing as a family, learning from each experience and fostering a supportive environment for both our daughters. The transition to the new house was smoother than expected. With the extra space, everyone felt more comfortable, and the atmosphere in the house began to shift from one of tension to a more relaxed and positive environment. Zoe settled into her new room with a sense of relief and quickly began personalizing the space to make it her own. Anna, too, was thrilled with her new room and spent weekends decorating it with posters, books, and her favorite toys. She was excited about having a space where she could be herself without the constant presence of an older step-sibling. The move had a noticeably positive impact on her mood, and her interactions with Zoe became less strained. Mark and I made a concerted effort to create family time that included both daughters. We started organizing weekend outings, such as trips to the park, movie nights, and family dinners. These activities helped us bond and strengthen our relationships. We also made sure to set aside time for one-on-one interactions with each daughter, ensuring that each felt valued and heard. Zoe began to feel more settled and even expressed a desire to contribute to the household more. She took on some responsibilities, like helping with meal preparations and offering to assist Anna with her school projects. This newfound willingness to engage positively impacted the family dynamic, and Zoe started to feel like a more integral part of our family. One afternoon, as we were all sitting around the living room, Zoe brought up a topic that had been on her mind. She expressed her appreciation for the new home and the effort everyone had put in to make the transition smooth. Zoe also apologized for the earlier demands and the strain she had placed on the family. Her acknowledgement and apology were heartfelt, and it was clear she was genuinely working to mend any remaining rifts. Anna, who had been somewhat guarded, opened up about how the previous months had been tough for her and how much she appreciated the new space and the effort Zoe was making to get along. The conversation marked a turning point in their relationship, and they began to develop a more genuine sisterly bond. Mark and I continued to focus on maintaining open communication and addressing any issues that arose promptly. We found that regular family meetings helped in discussing any concerns and planning family activities. It also provided a platform for each family member to voice their feelings and needs. Over the next few months, the harmony in the house grew stronger. Zoe's job search eventually paid off, and she secured a new position that provided her with both financial stability and a sense of accomplishment. With her new job, she was also able to contribute more to the household expenses, which eased some of the financial pressure on Mark and me. We celebrated milestones together: Anna's achievements in school, Zoe's career progress, and Mark and I's anniversary. These celebrations helped us build positive memories and reinforced our family bonds. The experience had taught us the importance of patience, empathy, and flexibility in a blended family. While the challenges hadn't vanished completely, we had learned to approach them with a more unified front. By focusing on understanding each other's perspectives and working together, we managed to create a nurturing and supportive environment for everyone. In the end, our family emerged stronger and more connected. We understood that blending families required effort and compromise, but with mutual respect and love, it was possible to create a harmonious and happy home for all.